Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is Alexander here, head instructor of Reno Tate at the Toronosume School of Martial Arts. And today I want to talk about combinations, building combos, how I go about building combos, and some of my favorite combinations. Well, to wind it back just a little bit, I was working out a few days ago, hitting the bag, and I started thinking about the combinations and combinations that I like to use. I was going back, reminiscing about the way I used to do my heavy bag work, right? And I need to find some of that. I need to find some of those old films and watch myself, rip myself apart, because I know I'm different now. But I started to think about building combinations. I remember the old way would I would just make up combinations, make up the numbers, boxing combinations, right? We're gonna start with your boxing combinations, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, that sort of thing. And I would just work to hit the bag, to get a workout in, right? But as I got older, as I became more and more familiar with the martial arts, my combinations started to get more cerebral, right? So what I wanted to talk about today is how I go about building a combination. And it's not just for the sake of hitting the bag, or just for the sake of throwing multiple shots when sparring. I mean, yes, it does have that element, but more importantly, it's very goal-oriented. Okay, very goal-driven. Like, what am I trying to accomplish with this combination? Other than just having a higher volume of punches to increase my chances of landing, or higher volume of strikes to increase my chances of landing a solid blow. Yeah, that is one level of it, right? If I'm throwing, a single shot, that is more likely to be picked off, checked, slipped, blocked, what have you. But as I increase that number, I'm playing the law of averages. Something will get through, right? Eventually. Mm-hmm. But a tier beyond that is responding to your opponent. How does your opponent react to certain strikes, right? How do they react? How do they overreact? And then planning accordingly, right? So my double jab and my cross, 1, 1, 2, might not just be I'm nailing them with 2 jabs and then I'm trying to hit them with a cross. Like, I'm trying to hit them with all 3 punches. Maybe I'm throwing those 2 jabs to drive the, to get them to cage up, drive the guard up, and then I'm gonna throw that 2 to the body, right? So I believe that combinations should be, maybe not initially, because initially you could go with that, but initially I just want to be throwing more strikes to increase my hit potential. But at some point, I want to push that to the side and get a level beyond that to be planning on striking my opponent with a more decisive shot, right? And in that, I would vary the amount of pressure and the speed that I'm putting into a shot, right? So varying between my light, medium, and then my hard shots, right? So when I was first throwing, I'd throw everything as hard as possible, right? My jab was as hard as I could throw my jab. My cross hooks were as hard as I could throw my hooks. And every shot was, in my mind, a potential knockout shot, a 1 shot, 1 kill, everything I threw, right? But that's not really realistic. I mean, I guess it could be. Maybe in a street sense, it could definitely be, right? But in the sport, in the playing side, that's not always necessary. There's a time and a place for it, right? So going back, combinations should have some sort of goal at the end, right? Like I said, a decisive strikes, right? So, and for the sake of demonstration, or not demonstration, what's the word I'm searching for? Because I'm not going to demonstrate anything. The demonstrations will come later. describing some of these combinations, I'll try and convey to you what I'm actually talking about, right? So I went with 4 of my favorite boxing combinations and 4 of my favorite Muay Thai combinations, right? So the first combination is a double jab across, right? So 1, 1, 2, and then 3 to the body, okay? And the decisive shot in that combination is the 3 to the body. The whole point of that combination is to land that 3 to the body, right? I'm trying to open up my opponent so I can hit them with a hook to the liver, right? And what's the method to the madness, right? My double jab, right, is just to put bugs on the windshield, right? My double jab is just to get something in their face, obstructing their vision, right? So I can get my feet in and position myself where I want to be. And then of course the two is going to be the harder shot, right? The 2 is going to be the harder shot, and that does an assortment of things. One, because I'm going to throw that 3 to the body, that hard 2 loads that 3, right? So I'm throwing that hard 2 to plan to coil my body, so I'm loading that 3. And if it gets through and I connect with it, that's a bonus, right? I'm going to try and connect with it, right? Because I have to sell it. It has to be believable. And if it connects, that's great. But if it doesn't connect, I'm fine with that. I want my opponent to be driving their guard up, right? So a couple of double jabs are fine, but that hard 2 comes, I want them caged, right? I want that elbow on that right side lifted up just a little bit, right? So that tip of the liver is poking out of the bottom, right? And then I'm going to drive that 3 to the body hard to the liver, hard into the body. That's what I'm looking for, right? So my double jab is putting bugs on the windshield. My hard 2 is either I'm clocking them or I'm driving their guard up. Either or is fine with me. And then I really want to land that 3 to the body. Okay. My next favorite combination, very basic, right? 1, 2, 3, jab, cross, hook. Okay, and what am I doing with the jab, cross, hook? Again, the jab, if I'm nailing with it, great. I'm following up with the 2, right? And then I'm clocking them with the 3, right? If they decide to block the 1, right? If they decide to block the jab and they catch the 2, then I've thrown 2 shots coming straight down the pipe, right? I want them focused on shots coming straight down the pipe. And then I'm going to curl a shot around that guard to clock them, right? So drives the guard up, and then you see the hole in the side. That's what I'm looking for, right? So 1, 2, down the center, and then boom, trying to come around that guard after I've closed it up. Another one takes a little bit of setup, right? Because I like to use a double jab and a cross. I pop, 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 right? After a round, half a round of that, my opponent gets used to that, right? So they know after I throw a double 1, I'm going to throw a 2, right? Double 1, I'm going to throw a 2. But my combination that I like is a double jab into a 6, right? So they're planning on that 2 coming, right? But I don't throw the 2, right? I don't throw it straight down the pipe. I step in and I throw a short uppercut into the body, right? Aiming to dig deep into that solar plexus. And again, I'm driving my double jab. I want to drive that guard up, drive that, put bugs on the windshield so they can't see anything. It's obstructed, and they're expecting the 2, but I don't throw the 2. Shift, throw up between the elbows to dig into the solar plexus. My next favorite combination is a 1, 2, 3 to the body, 3 to the head, right? So at this point, the only shot I've been throwing that is doubled up would be just the jab, right? So I'm doubling up on my jab. My cross is coming from the right side, my hook is coming from the left side, my uppercut is coming from the right side, maybe an uppercut is coming from the left side. But my 1, 2, double 3, right? So I'm throwing my 1, 2, right? I'm stepping around, throwing the 3 to the body. Now, I may have already thrown this earlier, right? So I want to get my opponent thinking I'm going to go jab, cross, 3 to the body, maybe cross to the head, but then I just double up on that side, right? So they're expecting left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Instead, I go left, right, left, left, right? So jab, cross, right, down, hook to the body, draws that elbow down, opens them up top, bang, good night. Or at least that's the goal, right? That's what I'm thinking about when I'm throwing that combination, right? Now into the Muay Thai combinations, right? And it follows the same sort of methodology, right? I like I want to land one solid, decisive blow. Now it doesn't mean that the combination is going to stop there, right? It just means that's the shot I'm getting in. If I don't get in, then I'm gonna have to change accordingly, right? If I throw 4 shots at somebody and they blocked and parried and slipped those 4 shots, then it's time for me to get out of there because I'm about to get in trouble, right? Anything beyond 3, in my opinion, it gets increasingly more dangerous, right? For me as the person throwing, right? So I only put about 4 shots in there. If I land clean and it staggers my opponent, then follow-up shots will definitely come. But for the most part, trying to land one solid, decisive shot, right? Just mask it with other shots, okay? My first favorite Muay Thai combination is very basic. It's a 1-2-3 and a low Thai kick, right? So my jab cross hook, right, which is driving all the action up, right? So I'm punching down the center, punching around the side. So I'm driving all the action up. One of two things: either my opponent sits in that position, which I'm cool with, or they're trying to backpedal to give ground, which I'm also cool with, right? Because my Thai kick is going low, right? So I want to sweep that left leg out from under. If I'm driving them back, driving weight off of that leg, I kick that leg up. Great. If they sit down on it, then they can absorb as much impact as I can put into them, right? Because if they're sitting down on it, they're not prepared to check that, okay? After that is a jab cross and then a switch kick followed by an uppercut. Now, this is one I stumbled upon when I was doing Muay Thai, tussling with a bigger guy. I got to the point where I could hit him with a switch kick at will, and the way his body responded to that just set him up so perfectly for an uppercut. I didn't get to land it. I missed it, but the philosophy was still sound, right? We're both fighting orthodox, so I was, through my 1-2, drives the hands up, or parry 1, guard the 2, and then switch to kick that lead leg out from under him to make his base unstable. When he did that, he would set to try and catch his balance. At that point, I'm stepping down after throwing my switch kick right into my 6, right? I have yet to land that, but I'm still working on it. But I think it's a beautiful combination. The next one is a teep, right? Lead teep, left leg, followed by a 2-3, and then a Thai round kick, right? So with that one, one of two things: either I'm stopping my opponent, right, or I'm driving my opponent back, right? So if I step into my teep to push them back, right, I'm stepping into them, giving more forward pressure, right, trying to back them off so I can sweep their leg out from under them with my Thai kick. If they're the one that's driving the action forward, right, they're trying to blitz in on me, I want to stop them, hold them up with that teep so I can get in. 2-3, right, again driving the action up, so I'm coming down the center, around the side, right, so this, right, so it gets them thinking about not their lower body, and they sit down on that, then bang, trying to chop their leg out from under. And the final combination, two kick combo, right? So this one is solely for the offensive, right? I step in hard, lead teep, right? Really get get a good coiled push on my opponent, start driving them back, try and drive them off that center, and then sweep their leg out from under, right? So it's not just 2 kicks, like I'm just trying to kick and then kick. I'm actually trying to drive their weight back so I can trip them as they're going back with my low Thai kick. And those are 8. Did I say 6 in the beginning? What did I think 6? No, I did say 4 of each. I said 4 of each, right? Those are my 8 favorite boxing and Thai boxing combinations. Now, building the combination, not that hard, right? Ultimately, you just try and figure out what you want to attempt to do your opponent, what you want to attempt to have your opponent respond to, and then you drill it. You drill it when you shadow. You drill it on the bag. You drill it on the pads. You drill it with a partner, and then you try it out in sparring, and you see what effect it has, right? And then in sparring is really when you see if it has some validity or some bugs you need to work out. You need to go back to the drawing board, or you need to bail on it altogether. There are plenty of combinations that I've had that I've bailed on altogether because all they do is get me punched in the nose, and I'm a bleeder, so I don't like being punched in the nose. Right? But so that's it, right? So get back to the old drawing board. Build yourself some combinations, and I will see you all next time. Peace.